issued a statement saying he was devastated by the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, aged 13. For 20 seasons, Kobe showed us what is possible when remarkable talent blends with an absolute devotion to winning.
Okay. Um, where do I start this from?
Hmm.
So, five-time NBA champion Kobe Bryant, who just started the second phase of his life, by the way. Gigi was his second daughter, one of the four to pick up the game.
Hmm.
He had Natalia first, and then he had Gigi, and then he waited 10 years before he had the next two. So he does have a 7-month-old baby, which is really sad. Um, but what is more devastating with this news is that um, he had a second phase of his life was totally different from the first phase. The first phase was really about Kobe Bryant being ambitious in the league, being doing the best he could do out there. You could hear about his work ethic from every single person. Um, but his second phase of his life was about mentorship and family and community development, and he just literally started that. Towards the, I mean, there was a time in the middle of his career, I heard Charles Berkeley say, um, I don't know Kobe Bryant and I don't know anybody that knows Kobe Bryant. Like there was nobody close to him. You could point him out of a lineup, but that was it. But towards the end of his career, he started taking guys under his wings, educating guys on how to present themselves as
Hmm.
professionals, how to build their lives outside basketball. It was just a totally different Kobe Bryant. Um, and then he retires, and it was he just started building a life outside that. He invested in finance. He made a lot of money. He started taking interest in his children. He didn't even really recognize that his daughter Gigi was going to be a basketball player. He said the first time he fell in love, he found out she loved basketball was when it was in 2014. So it was again towards that tail end where he was no longer like, oh, Kobe, the basketball player. It was more Kobe, the mentor, and it is so sad. I mean, I don't even know where to start because that was just the beginning. Think about it, taking your daughter and some of her teammates for a basketball game and losing your life and your daughter's life. I don't want to know what they said to each other in those last moments. It was bad, but the good memory I have about Kobe Bryant, and I think everybody should take, was when one of his teammates actually said, um, now one time he said, "Oh, Kobe, you don't hang out with guys. You should come out with us. You should drink a little. You live in LA, for God's sake, you know." So Kobe said, "Okay, I'll do what you want tonight, and then you do what I want tomorrow." And the guy was like, "Yeah, what is it? What do you want to do tomorrow?" So the guy takes Kobe out and they have fun all the way till past midnight. And 5:30 a.m., Kobe knocks on his door and says, "Okay, let's go for training." I was like, we're still hungover. It's not like we have a game tonight. Why are we going out to play? But such was his work ethic. First to leave to get into the gym, last to leave the gym at 9. And the same thing he carried after his career. So good was he that he was excelling in his business as a financer. And then he was also excelling in the movie industry because that's another thing he wanted to do. Which is one of the things he won a Grammy for, that his documentary. So everything he touched, and he always said it, life is too short, to not try things and to not excel at things. And that's the guy that we've lost. Just like that. 1 minute he was cheering on LeBron for surpassing him in point scoring. The next minute, plane crash. So really sad, Kobe. Just sad.
Among some of his most notable quotes, he said, "Everything negative, pressure, challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise." And he also says, "Kobe, I'll do whatever it takes to win games, whether it's sitting on the bench, waving a towel, handing a cup of water to a teammate, or hitting the game winning shot." Let's,
Wow.
may his soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Now, moving on to Australian Open. Fourth seed Simona Halep overcame a gutsy display from LC Mertens to secure her place in the Australian Open quarterfinals with a 6-4, 6-4 win. Mertens adopted a higher risk strategy in the game where she produced more winners but also more errors, 38 to Halep's 8. But she still pushed Halep to the limit, which reminded the Romanian of the encounter in 2019. And according to a statement that's quoted to Halep, who had yet to drop a set in Melbourne this year, she says, quote, "I played Alice in the Doha final last year. I led by a set and was up 4-2, but lost the match. I knew I had to stay focused today. I was a little nervous at 4-3, but was strong enough to finish.
Ridiculous. Sometimes some players just they've met you before and they know how tough you are, so they try new things, and that's what Elise was trying to do. She got on the court with Simola Halep, hard hitter, fight from the baseline, stays in rallies, and she just didn't know what to do, so she was trying new things. Sometimes she drop it, she drop the ball just she'll hit some drop shots. Sometimes she will stay in a base rally, but she was trying everything, and which is why I guess she hit 38 errors. And but regardless of what she threw, Halep was like, I'm gonna be here. Because for the first time in the women's draw in the Grand Slam, the top 10 players made it to the third round.
Yeah.
Then in the third round, they lost 7 straight. Like it was bloodbath. The first to go was Serena. After Serena, then Osaka, then Madison Keys, then Karolina Pliskova. They were dropping like flies. It was a carnage in the top 10. And so Simona Halep seeing all those people drop, she's like, I'm not going to go anywhere. Let me just try and fight this out. And I think because number one, it was the experience, and number two, she's a fighter. Ellis Mertens just couldn't meet up. So, and that was why Ellis Mertens just crashed. It was about focus, and Simona Halep had that focus, and she had that fight, and she stayed in. So congratulations to her. Also on the men's side, still no upsets yet. Roger Federer made it through. Djokovic, Nadal is going to play. Djokovic also made it through. Nadal is going to play Nick Kyrgios today. I think that one is going to be interesting. More about the drama between Kyrgios and Nadal than the tennis itself.
Yeah.
Stan Wawrinka right now battling Medvedev in the 5th set in Australia. So the battle is a bit tough. Dominic Thiem making it through earlier after taking out Gael Monfils. So in the men's draw, it's still a bit tame. The women's draw is where they've lost their minds. So we wait to see. I can't really say right now who is going to win the Australian Open from on the women's side. With the men, you can guess. It's going to be one of the top 3.
Yeah. It's interesting, unusual one for the, like you mentioned, with surprises, a few surprises there with the female tennis players. But let's take some comments. Of course, we a number of people are sending in messages with regards to Kobe Bryant. This is the classic, says, this life is so unpredictable. RIP to Kobe Bryant and other departed souls. From Tayo, Tega's voice is really telling we all miss him. And then Fola says,
Sending you hugs there. We're all feeling what you're feeling. I've been in a state of shock since yesterday. You just believe some people are immortal and then they die without prior notice. Gigi has had such a bright future. My goodness, pray that God grants their family strength at this time.
Amen.
Thank you, Fola.
Thank you very much.
We move on to this next story. Piotr Zielinski and Lorenzo Insigne scored in the second half as struggling Napoli shocked champions Juventus 2-1 to spoil coach Maurizio Sarri's return to the Stadio San Paolo on Sunday. According to the statements as quoted to Sarri, he said that despite the whistles and insulting banners of his former fans, he was quoted as saying, "It is pleasant and exciting to go back." He reserved in saying this his criticism for his underparliamentally bland team. He continues, "We lost the match against an opponent who had done the minimum to win. We were passive throughout the game, always halfway between pressure and waiting. We made mistakes."
Yeah, I would agree with him to an extent. They were not the Juventus side. I think, especially after Inter Milan dropped a few more points the day before against Cagliari, it's your opportunity to open a 6-point gap. You come at the game with everything, but I guess they were taking into factor the Napoli's form recently, their new coach, their struggles. They're like, they're not the Napoli of before. We can beat them. And the longer the game went on, the harder it became for Juventus to score, because they created chance after chance. They got into good areas, but they were just either one shot shy or 1 millimeter too wide. Something was just off in that final third. And then Napoli gets their opportunity. They scored the first goal, and it gave them a little bit of boldness, so that when they got into the 18-yard box, because they didn't start pressuring Juventus after they scored their one goal, they sat back. You thought they wanted to hold that goal to the end, but every opportunity they got into Juventus box, they were even more dangerous, and that's when they got their second goal. So for Juventus, they'd be kicking themselves now because this is not a Napoli side that's won anything. I mean, think they just saved Gattuso's job. Even Gattuso had written his sack letter by himself, and they saved his job. So yeah, Sarri and Juventus will be kicking themselves. So what can we say?
Yeah.
Napoli has done the job to keep the Italian Serie A a little more open. Inter Milan will be thankful to them.
All right.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to our next one here. Late header from Nacho takes Real top of La Liga. So Real Madrid moved top of La Liga for the first time since October yesterday after grinding out a 1-0 win away at Real Valladolid to make Barcelona pay for their surprise defeat to Valencia. Victory means Zinedine Zidane's side pulls 3 points ahead of Barca, whose 2-0 loss away at the Mestalla on Saturday under new coach Setien could prove a turning point in a nip and tuck title race.
Yes, it has literally been bumper to fender with this title race. But on Saturday, Barcelona dropped the ball, and it wasn't just that Valencia played. Valencia didn't play extremely good football, but they took extremely good advantage of every capitulation that Barcelona had. It could have been worse. Barcelona had a very bad day, dominating possession, but creating, I think, only 3 or 4 chances in the first half. You're wondering what's happening. And then Setien goes into the locker room, and I like I said before, they're dominating possession, they're passing the ball a little better, but they're not moving forward. So with Johan Cruyff, he says play everywhere like it's the midfield, but there is a structure. So you pass the ball from defense to midfield and you go forward. But with Barcelona, they're stuck in the midfield. So most of their possession is just outside their own 18, but just before the opponent's 18. And so they're just there passing the ball around and not doing anything. They're not penetrating. They're not direct. They're not creating chances. It makes it easy for opponents to be able to lock you out, and that's what they need to find a key to. There'll be questions that because Luis Suarez is not available, they don't have a point man up front, but they have Antoine Griezmann that they could have used as a point man up front. They have Ansu Fati they could have used as a point man up front. They didn't do all of that. It was a bad day for everybody, including Messi. Messi had 11 shots at goal, none. Is the highest number of shots he has taken at a goal in a game and not scored. So it was a bad game, but I think it's a wake-up call for them. However, Real Madrid was like, thank you very much. Thank you. It was nice doing business with you. We gladly collect these 3 points and maintain our spot at the top of the table. So let's see how it pans out, because next weekend, Madrid faces Atletico. So that's a derby. That's already a tough one. Anything can happen in that derby. It looks like Real Madrid have the upper hand because of Atletico Madrid's form too. Yeah. But because it's a derby, form doesn't count.
All right, let's see what happens then. But before then, we still continue with the Locker Room 981. We're about to move into the segment of the banter. So please make sure you stay tuned. Straight out of this break, we start #banter better with Coca-Cola.
World-class stations. This is Smooth 98.1.
Today Premier League game won't start. The players don't ready, the coach self don't ready. But you don't ready so. Because once the match start, that one means say the football banter, the hot bass boss, the hot go follow start.
Hey, today, then go beat some people club like talking drum, eh? Look who they talk. You went and beat your club last week like said they be thief.
So now, ask yourself, you don't ready for banter? I think you won't make your club carry last. Oh yeah, time still day. Waka enter shop, buy cheap bottle of Coca-Cola, take home. Soft drink partner of the English Premier League.
I am Pope, and this is Smooth Breakfast.
We're still just announcing
As a trailer, he is in 5th place. Is he close enough? Is he close enough? Yes.
Okay, so we're coming back in 10,
This segment
9.
is brought to you
Mike's
by
up.
Coca-Cola,
Cheers,
your
guys.
official sponsor of the
All right, Lagos, it's time to banter better with Coca-Cola here on the Locker Room 981. I'm Ayo Mairo Ese.
I'm Valentine Ohu. Good morning and thank you for joining us.
And with us is Tega Supreme. Right, so this is, this is our rules of engagement. Number one, you have to keep your comments clear of vulgar or insulting words. Number two, you have to use the hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola with all your comments, whether it be on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or WhatsApp. Make sure you use the hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. And this is how you can send your message to us.
On WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. Add the hashtag there. On Twitter at Smooth981FM. Use the hashtag as well. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Hashtag lockerroom981. And still send messages through YouTube because we're streaming live.
That's right. Okay, so we start with Liverpool. So young Klopp won't play Liverpool first team in FA Cup replay versus Shrewsbury Town. Klopp told reporters, "I have said to the boys already 2 weeks ago that we'll have a winter break. So it means we will not be there. It will be the kids who play that game because they cannot deal with us like nobody cares about it."
Okay, so this quarrel is not about yesterday's match against Shrewsbury. It's the quarrel with the FA. FA said we don't have winter break in England. You signed with Liverpool knowing that we don't have winter break in England. But Klopp is insisting that he must give his senior team players a winter break. And so every opportunity he has to rest his players, he's going to do that. But so yesterday, Liverpool were 2 goals up, and then Shrewsbury Town from the second division equalized, and it was 2-2.
Oh, really?
End of game. So now Liverpool has an extra game that they would rather not have. So the questions reporters were asking was, now that the kids have not proved mature enough to do the job, are you going to involve some of your first team players to help out so that you end this discussion and you go, or so that you push man on that front? And he said no, they are on holiday.
Wow, he's still being adamant.
Yes, they have gone to Ibiza. You can't call us back. We are done.
Ibiza.
I must go. No pills, just go. But so that's what he's saying. He's saying, look, the kids are going to do the replay. However, they get through it. If they do get through it, if they don't get through it, that's their cup of tea. But that's what we're doing. I don't know if I agree with him or disagree with him, but the fact is, he has, not that he has a chance, he has won the league.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned. He's just waiting to be crowned, and so he's chilling. He has one trophy in hand. He really doesn't have to push his players to foil that, that ambition.
Yeah.
And so if he has to drop the FA Cup the same way he dropped the Carabao Cup, he will sleep well at night. That's basically what he's saying. But I think Shrewsbury Town is just happy to get that replay,
of course,
and get their extra money. They may go to that second leg and lose by 4 goals to 0. You wonder, is it the same thing that fought back? But they've gotten what they need, which is to get the replay, which is what most teams in that division do, to try and get a replay, try and make more money and see what they, and if they get a win, that's added bonus for them. But Liverpool actually gave fans one opportunity to drag them this season, just one. This is the only one. Drag us now and forever hold your peace.
Thank you very much, Liverpool, for being so considerate. Tayo from Yaba says, hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Sevilla was like, who's in the garden? Barcelona like, a little mercy. Sevilla, can I come and see in Barcelona? No. What shall it profit you with 74% ball possession and lose the game?
I'm telling you.
The herder failed to use goats to farm. And I love it.
Audrey from the abroad, well done. It's a hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. For me, Lord, please, when the end is coming near, give me a sign. Maguire, Jones, Lingard score in the same match. And then me the next morning at the bus stop, repents, the kingdom of God is ahead.
So that's a sign.
Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. This message is from Mario. He said, no banter today, we mourn Kobe. And Chimobi
Victor says, truth be said, Juventus and Barcelona haven't been top-notch this season. And it never came as a surprise that both teams lost again against Napoli and Valencia. The league belonged to Real Madrid this season because this Cynthia, the female coach that Barcelona employed, wouldn't do anything.
And Charles Chidozie sent a message on YouTube. He said, I saw Gattuso after that match. He was walking on cloud 9. Interesting.
Chima, Victor, your tweets sounded a bit, or your text sounded a bit discriminatory.
Yeah, against women.
Kneel down and face the wall.
Yes, exactly.
Let's move on. Let's move on with this next story about Jose Mourinho. He said he was quoted as saying, "It's a result that keeps us alive." He was actually reacting to the FA Cup replays about it being scrapped. He said it's a result that keeps us alive, that keeps us in the draw. It's a result we do not need. We don't need to play one more match, but it's better to play than not to play. It's not a personal situation. Ralph was telling me the same. We don't need one more match, but I think both me and him prefer to play again than to be out.
I totally agree. Again, Tottenham going to a game, scored a goal, and just can't close it out. And because of that, they have to play the replay. Now, neither them nor their opponents want a replay, but that's the FA rules. And they're not the first to mention this fact that it used to be a while ago that you continue playing replays until somebody wins. But they realized that was adding to the game and taking more time and giving more players. So they did, okay, so after a replay, if there is still no victor or no vanquished, we take penalties. And now a lot of teams are crying out that, you know what, if we don't win, if at the end of the 90 minutes it's a draw, how about we just play extra time and then penalties and know that it's over, as opposed to fixing a match for another day that we really don't need. And that's where a lot of coaches and players stand on, especially with the fact that we don't have winter break, you know. So it's something the FA need to look at. But what it is for what it's worth, like he said, they have an opportunity now to stay in the FA Cup. It hasn't been a brilliant season for Tottenham. So because now you're in a higher place.
Yeah. There's my encouragement.
Yeah, you have more bragging rights now. So I think they will show up, but he shouldn't complain too much. He should, anytime the fan come out to support him, he should just applaud them because he hasn't covered himself in glory this season.
Oh gosh. Right, so Zizi Classic says, I thank God anyway, I'm still on loan to Leicester City this season as a Barcelona fan. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
Chidozie on Twitter says, hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. All the while, we thought United had the wrong coach. But after last night's game, we realized that United is in the wrong league.
Oh my goodness.
He said, hashtag Abaya United.
All right.
And then TDB sends in another message, hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. I said, so by Sevilla.
Yeah.
And then hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Uzo from Agungi says Manchester United will smash it in League One. They'll probably finish unbeaten and win the league down there.
Yeah.
Promise from Elisha says, good morning, guys. Just last week, we all saw a video of Kobe and his daughter training now. They're both gone. Kobe made me love basketball. Rest on my favorite, my legend, R.I.P. Kobe. I do not even know who to banter this morning. Everyone get a pass because of Kobe.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Promise. Then Bash from Yaba says, hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola. Tega, I beg you, stop yelling or stop telling people that tiki-taka can work. It is outdated. All the possession will... Pep has stopped playing total possession.
Wow, okay.
Okay.
Let's ask Mustafi that.
Okay.
Sharon Mustafi can have Arsenal future, says Mikel Arteta, and we'll find out why. When asked if Mustafi could have a long-term future at Arsenal, Arteta said, quote, when he's my player and when he's me, the way he does every day, of course. I don't believe that at 27 you cannot improve certain aspects of the game. I really believe you can, said Arteta. I work with players like this and I have teammates like this, and there's always a moment when there's a click.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yeah, so about Mustafi, I feel he has had multiple chances at Arsenal and he just does not perform. He is not good enough. Let's take the game again of Chelsea and Arsenal, for instance. Mustafi made this disastrous back pass to David Luiz, which led David Luiz to be sent out of the field. I think that they're playing him because they've got no choice at this. You know, Arsenal has these issues of injuries and they've had it for a very, very long time. I do not disagree though with Arteta. I feel like there's definitely room for improvement for Mustafi, but this kind of mistakes should not be done at this point where Arsenal is trying to find their feet.
Oh, isn't she so sweet? She thinks that there's room for improvement. This default is if a factory setting. The guy is, you know, he cannot teach old dog new tricks. The guy is a disaster.
We need a new operating system.
I think.
Well done.
All right, Charles Chidozie is back. He says, after playing 74% possession against Valencia, I think it would have been fair to grant them the 3 points. But if Barcelona continues like this, that tiki-taka will soon change to shaku shuka. Wow. Hashtag banter better with Coca-Cola.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
That
all.
message, we call it a day on the show.
That's right. Thank you, Tega. Tega is at Tega Supreme, and of course, Ella is International for her work with ladies in sports. We have Inse at Inse_Obong on Twitter, so please follow us at Smooth 981 FM. We love your follows, and like and subscribe. YouTube Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Next stop, we get talking Lagos in Lagos Talks 981.
Coming in as a trailer, he is in fifth place.
Thank you, ladies.